Okay, so it's Skull and Bones is out, and I used to work for Ubisoft, and I specifically worked for that project for almost 3 years, I think. Yeah, almost 3 years. So I think here's my take on the game so far. I haven't had the time to actually play it. I just watch some other people play it, and I just wanted to share with you because it's a really interesting story in terms of game development. Because Skull and Bones has always been a project where you know a lot of people were looking for it. This was a project that was supposed to be a DLC for Assassin's Creed Black Flag because of the success the success it had was so massive that people just what, we just want a game for ships. And initially the idea was just to make a DLC. It's like, okay, let's just put a content on, like, more ship content. And part of that idea was from the studio of Singapore. Singapore was the studio that made the water system for Ubisoft. If you play Assassin's Creed, the water system it's quite good. It's great. And they, as development progressed, it took things further and further until you know what, things are going well. Let's just make a game. Let's just make another game. That was on PlayStation 3 era. So we're talking about PlayStation 3, and that was probably 2013. Yeah, 2013. I'm not sure exactly the exact date about when it started, but I joined Ubisoft in 2019 when the project had already, I think, like 6 or 7 years in development. So I got into a very interesting time, because at the beginning they were thinking about, let's just do a Black Flag game, and they tried a lot of things. And in Ubisoft there are some certain milestones you need to reach, and then you will present the game to the headquarters. At that time, the name of the guy I don't remember, but I think he was really sharp. I think he had really good taste on games. Unfortunately, he got fired because of all the scandal that happened. But regardless of that, I think he made really cool decisions on saying, okay, this game sucks, this game doesn't suck, let's keep going for it. And every time they try the game, it just wasn't fun. And I got into a very interesting time in 2019. Like, I went to China to work on this project, and it was a very interesting time because for the first time the game changed its direction. And if the game gets rejected, they need to start all over again, like need to rethink, like, okay, like, how do we make it fun? There were a lot of changes on that project, and basically it went from a action game, PvP, where you just shoot with ships, to a survival game. And it was completely different. And to be honest, it was fun. When, as development progressed, we got into different stages of the game. And why it's a very interesting project is because I got in a stage where just a lot of things need to be tested. So it felt like working in your own game, like you can actually create something that if it gets approved, it will go into the game. So a lot of things were tested there, like in terms of gameplay and a bunch of stuff. So it was really interesting in that regard. And as development progressed, like the years happened, the game was getting more and more, you know, you may think that they have an idea of, okay, this is the game we're gonna make, and then we're just gonna make it step by step until they finish. That's not usually how game development works. It's a lot of ups and downs. It's a lot of testing, a lot of, yes, this works, and tomorrow, you know what, this worked yesterday, but to be honest, like, this can work better if we did this thing. So it's a lot of, it's more of a, it's like the weather change. Like you really, it's like unpredictable. Like it, but it got to a point where the game was going to be a survival game, and I leave the company when I start in. I think I believe I left on 2021, end of 2021, and we were already in production. So I was transitioning for making some stuff like destruction, simulation, and this kind of stuff, to just doing some environment art. There are some iconic places I did in the game, like one of them, it's like a Tiger Island. It was really, really cool to make. And there were a lot of flexibility there to actually be creative and you just, you know, create something you like. And I create a bunch of locations, but I think the proudest location, it was that Tiger Island. I was very iconic. If you see the game, like in the intro video, like there is a shot of that island that have the shape of the tiger. That was entirely made of scratch, start by me, and with the help of another concept artist, we worked together on that to make it happen. I didn't got into the polish stages of the game, so I really don't know what happened in the development since I left. And long story short, game just released a few weeks ago. February 14th, I think it was the game it released officially. And it got a lot of mixed reviews, you know. Like, game is fun, but, you know, I think a lot of people were expecting Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know? Just... a lot of people were thinking, you know, Black Flag was a great game. We just wanted Black Flag. And you just gave us a completely different game that is not what we expected for so many years. Now, a lot of people didn't know about the game, but there were a few people who actually, you know, were invested into the development of the game, as like they really like pirate games, pirate themed games, and they were like, man, this is gonna be the best pirate game ever. And they were also like a little bit disappointed because like Black Flag is a completely different game. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is a third-person action game where you see the character and you actually have other things other than sailing. And you know, you can actually there is actual combat there. Like you can actually like land a ship and like, you know, kill everyone, take the bounty, this kind of stuff. A lot of that was in the expectation of the players, and when the game got released, they realized, hey, like this build-up of, you know, I'm gonna play Black Flag again, but 2024, like it's gonna be great. This expectation was building up for so much that, like, hey, this is not Black Flag at all, right? This is completely different, and this is not what I wanted. Regardless, there are some people that play it and it's actually really fun. Like, I played before. Like, I'm as neutral as possible here. I'm just talking to you not as a ex Ubisoft employee, but as a gamer. You know, I played the game when it was on before production, and it was fun. It was really fun. It was a survival game. There's some grinding behind it, but I remember when the executives played that game. I don't remember the name of this guy. Sorry about it, but he played for 8 hours. like, this is really fun, really fun. And they had a concept of quadruple A, or 4As, however you want to call it. But the reason is, first, the map was giant, like it was really big, really big. The other thing is that it was always multiplayer. You go there, it's like a living ecosystem. Anything you do there, it will change the map entirely. And as the game update, like, things, it's like a living world, you know. It's like an MMO in a way, but with more things that change the world in a more, you know, dynamic way. So there's also PvP, which I think a lot of people don't like it. Personally, I love it. I love player against player. And the fact that you have so many choices, like you can just be gathering stuff, you know, you want to improve your ship, you want to make it better, you want to customize it. Suddenly just a guy comes, is like, you know what, I'm just gonna kill you. I think a lot of people don't like that. So a lot of mixed reviews also come from that. They just want a PvE experience. Like, I just want to gather, I just want to have fun. It's basically Farmville, right? This is not that game. This is a PvP game. You can actually betray your teammates and a lot of stuff like that. So I think it's really cool. At the same time, I also understand that a lot of people don't like this type of games. But I think Ubisoft had made some really cool games in the past. I don't know if you played For Honor. It was a really cool one. Bad Lunch, as always. Very cool game. Very nice game. Competitive game. Requires a lot of skill, a lot of practice. And also very cool. A very cool theme is like medieval kind of fantasy and just very real. It really feels like, you know, when you attack, you feel the weight of the blade and everything. So that's one of the games. For example, another game was Ghost Recon Phantoms. If you don't know about it, it's a really cool game that got cancelled. I don't know the reasons. I used to play it a lot, and I'm not really into shooters, but this one, it was like a shooter strategy game, PvP, and with different classes, like 3 different classes, with, you know, all the weapon combinations you can have and the perks, and a lot of strategy, a lot of skill involved. Again, great game that didn't come out. This is just a few of the examples that I can find that Ubisoft did a great job that wasn't Assassin's Creed. Because for me, Assassin's Creed was like a formula that I just repeat over and over again. I used to love the game until the 4th came out. After that, I really didn't play it. I'm sure it's a good game, but I feel a little bit plainless, to be honest. Especially the recent games. And in a way, it's a safe way for the company to make money. You know, Assassin's Creed is a very well-established brand. It's a game that a lot of people want to play and they expect to play, like different locations, or where is it going to be the next one, you know. When I was working at Ubisoft, they were working in the Valhalla at that time. So there's a lot of expectations always, where is it going to be the next location, you know. And I think it's Skull and Bones. It's a game that tried to make something different, and just because it's very different from the standard, it's hard to appreciate some of the little stuff it has. I guess it's not a game for everyone. I'm not saying it's perfect. I don't think it is. In fact, if I played one of these days, maybe I don't even like it, or maybe I like it a lot. But it's one of those things where you like it a lot or you don't like it at all. I think it's one of those games. But another thing that is grabbed a lot of attention in the media was the fact that they were talking about this quadruple A, and I explained the reasons why. But if I'm not mistaken, the game released for $70 price as a base, right? $70 is, man, I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't played the game, right? Who's gonna pay $70 for that? Where, first of all, it's digital, because there's no production costs there. It's not like they ship it, or material costs are higher. You can potentially sell unlimited copies of that without any single production cost. It's not scalable. The more you sell, the more you need to spend. It's like you spend the same no matter how much sales you have. I think it was a little bit greedy, to be honest, and a lot of people got shocked. Like, $70. This is not even $60. It's already expensive, and most people wait for a discount to start playing the game. People who don't want to start playing the game, who don't want to wait to play the game later, just buy the $60. They just can't wait to play it. And $70, I think it was a little bit too much for me. Again, I'm just speaking as a gamer, not as a Ubisoft employee or something. This is just my personal take on this, and my views are not directly linked to the company's thoughts or anything. It's just my personal experience. They are not linked to anything of them. But I think it was too much, and I think it got a lot of hate. Like, I wait for, how many years we're talking about? It's more than 10 years. I mean, we're talking about a game that was supposed to be for PlayStation 3 and released on PlayStation 5. It's taken some time to release, right? And I think it was too much. And not only that, I understand that the game industry now is, especially the big companies, are taking the games as a service, not only like before. Honestly, I love the games I used to play when I was a kid. Buy the game, you get everything, that's it. And I think that's a reason why Baldur's Gate is so popular. It's because, you get what you pay for. I pay for I buy a game, and I get the complete game. Like, I don't get like, okay, this area and then this area and whatever. And Skull and Bones is a game that it's meant to be for seasons. That's the business model that a lot of companies take these days. Like, we're gonna release the content little by little over the seasons. And to be fair, that's fine. But I think a lot of people are missing the thing. I mean, Baldur's Gate is a really good example of a great game. Like, only pay once, get everything. That's it, right? You get plenty of content there. You have fun, very well polished. Not try to, go beyond like extreme big wars, like everything bigger, instead of, better, different, something different, something fresh, something with a unique taste on it. I think a lot of people are craving for that now in the industry. And I think most AAA games just don't deliver to that expectation of players. Just, I want some unique experience. Like, it's not like, oh, when I play games before, games were better, because in my idea, when I was a kid or a teenager, games were like more polished, and I didn't see more. But I actually played the games before. I was like, I played as a kid, and they were really well made, extremely good quality, and it's like, and they were very unique. They always try to put like, what's the unique thing? What's gonna make it more fun? Like, and I think that's the reason why games were so different than movies. And I think in a similar way, movies and games are intersecting in some kind of monetary conflict where, it's just so much money involved that if you make a project that is not profitable, and your company can suffer a lot of consequences. And you see that in the game, in the movie industry, the blockbuster movies, they're just so plain. Most of them are just like following the same formula. VFX VFX everywhere. Dialogue not really deep, a little bit of a joke here and there. Marvel is a really good example. Just, you have a good time. It's not like memorable, like wow, like I didn't expect this. Like it's so much twist and everything, and so much deep messages. Like I need to watch again. It's not like that anymore. It's still like, yeah, I go to the movies, I watch it, I had fun, I left. That's it. And the movies got what they wanted. It's like to go people watch the movie. So, and they made movies for everyone. They made movies for kids. There were movies that are also for adults at the same time. Like Marvel, you can go with your kids. You can go with your friends. And it doesn't matter the age, as long as you watch Marvel movies. Like that's, it's gonna be fine. It's a little bit for everyone. Kids love it. Adults love it. It's a profitable business, and I think that's why we see a lot of actors left the Hollywood industry now. Like, what's the name of the actor? Tony Stark, the one in the Iron Man. I forgot his name. Actually, you just want to do some other things, We've seen him in titles like Oppenheimer, which is a different movie. And we may see more of that in the future. And I think the games industry is also it's going through a similar period in this time where it's just a lot of money involved, and they just want to play safe. And I think that's what's bothering people so much, no matter what is the title. It's like companies playing too safe, too politically correct, too much of the same thing that worked before. This worked before, let's do it again. And it's just not refreshing at all. It's just not. That's why games like Baldur's Gate stands out so much. Because it's like, what a fresh take. This is something really fresh. I really enjoy this. And a lot of indies too, like, hey, indies take risk, because if they don't take the risk, they don't get noticeable. Like, otherwise, it's the classical example of an indie developer that does a really bad job is the one who copies the AAA model. Like, for example, all right, let's just do a God of War action beat 'em up. It's like, that's it. But because they don't have the budget, and they don't have the talent, and they don't have the resources, they just do the same but worse, and they just don't stand out from the rest. Like, you're gonna do the same, at least do it better, right? Which is what AAA companies do. So indie games are actually very promising. I have a lot of faith on indie games. I have a lot of faith on games that, are there to do something different and take the risk, because that's the only choice they have. They need to take the risk, and I hope to see that more in the future. So that's it. That's my take on Skull and Bones and the whole industry. I don't know if I will continue to upload to this channel. I plan. It depends on what kind of topic I want to talk about. Mostly it will be game development. So hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye. See ya. Take care.